The War with Grandpa. Read aloud by Mrs. Carter. Chapter 15. It takes two sides to fight a war. Well, it was a lot of fear and worry over nothing, because Grandpa didn't say anything or do anything about my note. Not the next day anyway, or the day after that. I didn't know what to do. Here I had declared war and written a note, and my enemy totally ignored the whole thing. It looked like it was going to be the shortest war in history. That day and the one after, I followed Grandpa around and gave him plenty of chances to talk to me when nobody else was around. I even sat through a whole afternoon with him while he watched those stupid soap operas on TV. Later, I went to the candy store with him where he wanted to buy some cigars. It took forever to walk 2 blocks because Grandpa just limped along so slowly. "Is there anything you want to say to me?" I asked him on the way back. He grinned at me. "Only that I like your company, Petey. You're very easy to be with." "Isn't there something you read lately that you wanted to talk about?" I asked. "Like a note," I almost said. "Just the newspaper," he said, "and there's so much bad news in it. I try not to pay too much attention." I was learning something about Grandpa. He was one of the world's best ignorers, and my fight to get my room back looked like it would never even get started. Chapter 16. The first strategy conference. "You are so stupid, it's amazing you can live," Billy was saying. We were at his house playing his game, Stratomatic baseball. Steve and I had one team, Billy had the other. Naturally, Billy always fixed it so that he had Babe Ruth and Ty Cobb on his team. Naturally, Billy always seemed to win. "You don't start a war with a note," Billy said. "You think the Japanese sent a note before they attacked Pearl Harbor? 'Dear United States, pardon us, but we're going to have to sink all your ships. Sorry.'" "Are you sure your grandfather got the note?" Steve asked. "Yes, he couldn't miss it. It was right on his pillow." "Maybe it fell out when he took the bedspread off," Steve said. "Then where would it go?" I said. "On the floor, out the window? It was a big piece of paper. It didn't just fly away." "You have to attack," Billy said. "Not just write a polite note. Blam! Drop a bomb. Wham! Hit him with a rocket." "I'm not going to bomb my grandpa," I said. "Then what are you going to do?" Steve said in his slow and careful way. His eyes seemed to be laughing at me as he waited for my answer. "I'll do something," I said. "Some war," Billy said. Meanwhile, he threw the dice and his all-time all-star team scored 2 more runs on doubles by Honus Wagner. "It's time you got started fighting." All of a sudden, something clicked in my head. Before I knew it, I began to laugh. Billy and Steve looked at me as if I'd gone nuts. "Thanks, Billy," I said. "Thanks a lot. Time I got started all right, time sure enough." And then I told them what I was going to do. Chapter 17. Night Attack. I really figured that I won't be able to sleep at all that night, but I was wrong. I set my AM/FM digital clock radio for 2 o'clock in the morning before I clicked off my reading lamp. I guess I must have tossed and turned for a while, thinking of what I was going to do and being nervous about it. But when the radio came on, playing a Beatles song, I was fast asleep. I put the light on, shut off the radio, and looked at the note I had prepared one more time. This is what it said. "People who steal other people's rooms should not sleep well at night. Surrender my room and the war will be over. The Secret Warrior." I took my pocket flashlight, put on my slippers, and went into the hallway. Down the stairs to the 2nd floor I sneaked. Slow and careful, trying not to make any noise. The house was so quiet, it was weird. At the bottom of the stairs, I paused for a moment. My heart was beating, thump-a-thump, very loud in my chest. To tell you the truth, I felt uncertain about what I was going to do to Grandpa. But to get back what was mine, I had to fight. "All's fair in love and war," somebody said. I hoped he wasn't the same guy who said respect your elders. I sneaked down the hallway like a thief in the night, tiptoeing past my parents' closed bedroom door and then Jennifer's. Outside my old room, I stepped around the floorboard that always creaked so loud. Then I turned the doorknob as slowly as I could, opened the door, and went into the room. Even in the dark, I could see that Grandpa was lying on his back under the covers, fast asleep. He was breathing slow and easy, making a little whistling noise that ended in a snore. One of his feet poked out of the covers at the bottom of the bed. I walked very carefully around the floorboards I knew creaked and went to the dresser. Here is where I needed my pocket flash. I covered it with one hand, and made sure the light went only on the little electric clock on top of the dresser. This was the nasty part. I took the little clock and turned the alarm arrow so it pointed to 3 o'clock. I have to tell you that when the arrow went past the 2 o'clock, it made such a loud click that I almost jumped a foot in the air. Be brave, secret warrior, I told myself. Then I pulled out the alarm button on the back of the clock, set down my note smack on top of the dresser where even a blind man could see it, and got myself out of the room in a hurry. Upstairs I jumped into bed, turned out the light, and settled under the covers to see what was going to happen. In less than an hour, the alarm clock was going to go off, and Grandpa would be awakened in the middle of the night. Be still, my heart.